Hey everyone, Omogonix here. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 things that you need to know about the Xbox One X before you buy it. So I'm definitely getting the Xbox One X for Christmas, and I might even do an unboxing video on it. But I really want to make this video, just to let people know, things about the Xbox One X. So yeah. Alright, so the first thing that you need to know about the Xbox One X is, everyone already knows this, but I may as well just mention this anyway, is that the Xbox One X will have support for 4K games. So the main thing about the Xbox One X, and the main thing that Microsoft have been talking about it, is the 4K, and that's one of the biggest features on the Xbox One X. This is a big advantage for people with 4K TVs, they can use them to the full advantage. Most of the Xbox One games will be 4K enhanced, which is really cool. Halo 5 just got a 4K enhancement update, so yeah, everyone already knows this, that the Xbox One X is going to have 4K enhancement, but I may as well just mention it. Okay, so the second thing that you need to know about the Xbox One X is that there are advantages for 1080p TV users. So, if you have a 1080p TV, you're obviously thinking like, well, how am I going to play the Xbox One X if I don't have a 4K TV? Well, here's the thing, you actually can. Because at E3, Microsoft actually explained that Xbox One X has super sampling, which means that 4K games will look great on 1080p TVs. So yeah, and that's actually really cool because Microsoft, they want the Xbox One X to appeal to 1080p TV users too. Now, I would recommend that you do upgrade to a 4K TV, of course. I've only got a 1080p TV, but in a few years' time, I'm probably going to get a 4K, maybe even next year. But yeah, so that's one cool thing about the Xbox One X, it does appeal to 1080p TV users. And also, another thing is that, on the Xbox One, you can actually change your TV resolution in the Xbox One settings from 720p to 1080p, 1080p to 720p, whatever you want to do. And hopefully on the Xbox One X, there are settings to change it from 4K to 1080p. Because there are some games on the Xbox One X that aren't even supporting 4K, they'll still be in 1080p, but 1080p TV users will, of course, still have all the hardware capabilities, they'll still be in 60 frames per second and all that, so yeah. Alright, so the third thing that you need to know about the Xbox One X, and it's kind of a bad thing, but I may as well mention it anyway. The file sizes for games are large because of the 4K enhancements. Now, this is something that I think is really bad. So because of all the 4K enhancements in the games and stuff, that really upsizes the file sizes on the games. For example, on the Xbox One X, Halo 5 is going to be 107 gigabytes. Now alone without the 4K enhancement update, Halo 5 is about 98 gigabytes. And Quantum Break, guess how much that's going to be? 178 gigabytes big, and most games will be well over 100 gigabytes, which will take up a lot of internet, people with limited internet speeds, and stuff like that, people with not unlimited internet, limited internet and stuff, that's a real big problem for them because it's just going to drain out all their internet and it's going to take up a lot of their internet to download all these games, like the Xbox One X comes with a 1 terabyte hard drive, but it will only be able to hold like 10 games or maybe even less depending on the game's file size, but that's just huge for Quantum Break, 178 gigabytes, and Halo 5 107 gigabytes, and like I said before, Halo 5 without the 4K enhancement update is 98 gigabytes, which is still really, really big. Like, I would mention more games, but there's just too much to mention that will have over 100 gigabyte file sizes. So expect most games with 4K enhancement to have extremely large file sizes. That's one of the downgrades of the Xbox One X, you know, is the extremely large file size of the games because of the 4K enhancements. So the fourth thing that you all need to know about the Xbox One X is that it is very powerful. So this is another thing that Microsoft promote about the Xbox One X as well. You know, they say that it's the most powerful console of all time. It can run most games in 60 frames per second. Now I was doing some research and there are some games like Anthem in 4K that only run at 30 frames per second, you know. And, you know, that kind of sucks, you know, that Anthem will only be in 30 frames per second at 4K, you know. Maybe you can turn it down to 1080p and it'll be at 60 frames per second, you know. But yeah, most games will be at 60 frames per second, which is what I think is really cool. So yeah. Alright, so now the fifth thing that you all need to know about the Xbox One X is, which I just mentioned before, not all games run at 60 frames per second. So what I just mentioned before with Anthem is that it will be running at 4K but only at 30 frames a second, and this is the same for some games as well. You know, I don't know any other games, you know, but I did read up and there are some games that will only be running at 30 frames per second, but I don't remember which games they are, you know. All I can remember is Anthem. So yeah, there will be a couple of games that only run at 30 frames per second, but you know, other than that, most of the games will be running at 60 frames per second on the Xbox One X. Alright guys, so that was 5 things that you need to know about the Xbox One X. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to melee that like button, and also don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.